This video is sponsored by Tradecraft. Create your tags, tag your trades, store your recordings, create screenshots, and look at your statistics. You have the ability to create statistics using several widgets. You're able to place them wherever you please, having a place where you can store all your playbook trades, and you can quickly flip through them, studying all your trades. Tradecraft is more than a journal. It is a tagging software that allows you to create the statistics you need, where you have the ability to filter your trades out on an extremely deep level, allowing you to figure out exactly where your edge might be. For more information, check out the link in the description of this video or visit tradecraft.club.
What is up, everybody? Mic check. Let me double check. Mic check. Today's going to be an interesting session. Took forever to get this stream together. So why will this session be interesting? Because we have a massive trade that caught 15 grand right here. That's what it made. But we also got into we had a lot of problems getting into it. So we're going to review all of this, see what went wrong, see what went right, and on this specific trade, I actually went and threw up in the middle of holding it. So that was interesting. This was an A+ trade right off the rip. So I got a lot of review to do. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to just do it on stream. So let's get into the session. I'm going to go ahead and put this on 2x speed. So as I sat down, this is a 30-minute chart. I noticed there was a model range up there. Let's see if I get into it. So this is pre-open. This is at 8:28. So you guys can see it up there. So there's an A+. Let's go back actually. Right there. Now I might start marking it up later in this review process. But notice how this thing is, well, I'll just draw it. Notice how you have a nice rectangular looking range for the most part. It looks pretty rangy. It's got a reclaim here. Typically when a range like this breaks out, it'll put it in a measured move. So it'll be the body width of the breakout. So roughly to about here. You'll see it on the final trade. This reclaim will suck the trade in. However, the 30-minute is such a high time frame that it's going to be rather challenging to get into. Let me actually pull the timestamps here. Oh, yep, this is going to be an interesting episode, man. We're going to learn a lot. So the market opens up. I'm doing my normal things, looking for 1,000 delta here. If you guys have been seeing the shorts come in, that's what I started doing. Something went wrong. Something happened where these setups just, I don't know what went wrong. Okay, so I woke up, stomach was queasy as shit. Food poisoning, right? I'm like, I think I might puke today. So, definitely feeling sick the moment I sat down. Not like flu-ish, just I might have to either puke or I'm going to shit my pants sick, right? Which again, on this trade, I'm gonna get up and puke. Which is fucking funny actually. As the market is puking down. So, yo, what's up? Oh, it's in 06. What's up, dude? So anyways, we have... Bro, I see your official name. So we get short here. So we have about 3 factors of support. You have this large sell, sustained selling of 1,000 delta here, and it's accepting outside of it. Then you have another large chunk of about 400 selling right here. And then you had a huge buy order of about 300 right here, which is weird how compressed it is. There is a bit of manipulation. I can see it. Notice how the volume raises up here, but right here there's these 3 bars. You can barely see them. The market's getting stuck right there. So I'm getting short. It's a 3-factor of support. So let's actually start getting our hands dirty. I think the most important thing to do is like learn from mistakes, which a lot of traders are not doing. So I know I have a 2-factor here and a 1 there. This would be a 3-factor. Is that good enough? I don't know. I'm gathering statistics on this. So if we come into our numbers here, main dash, it's down here. So I'm starting to measure how many multiple factors of support I have that's working out for me. The reason this is so important is multiple factors of support. These are all of the trades with multiple factors of support. Let me actually color that red. The reason this is so important for me is I know that multiple factors of support has substantially more edge than, well, trades that don't. But exactly how many factors of support and what specifically is it coming from? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So as we can see, I started to measure exactly how many factors of support. Now this is a tag I've used well before the Tradecraft was ever developed, because I used to tag on like journal ticks. Pardon me. Oh, Jesus. That's lemon water, by the way. And so far, because if you guys were here for the last stream last Wednesday, I started to figure out what was wrong, started to craft a new set of tags, and I fixed what would happen last Wednesday. And sure as a fuck shit, everything was working out really well. Now, 4 factors of support is what I've been leaning into, generally speaking, and it's been working out really well for the past week. So this is interesting because it's 3 factors. I want to know how many factors before it is not a good trade, right? So what went wrong on this? Well, the market is relatively compressed. You can see it's making a wedge. That's not too bad. So if I come back to here, this would be no shimmy. We do want to look at that 30-minute though, which I think it's later in this session. I do want to look at the 30-minute because I want to mark out. Well, let's just go to the beginning of the stream. We'll go ahead and look at that trade again. I want to know the high and the low of this. I don't have Sierra pulled up right now, so we'll have to kind of like manually mark this out. So you're looking at about 60-ish on the low end. What, 90s high end? It's 104 tick, so about 79.50s, 78. So about 78 is roughly the midpoint of this, so we do want to keep track of that. So we get short here. The trade instantly just blows against me, so it compresses. Nah, it kind of works about whatever, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to get out of that because it compresses and then blows out on me. Good exit. I can't complain about the exit. I think the exit was pretty good for what it was. So I'll put perfect exit here. Now, I felt pretty clear about what I was doing. Maybe a slight urge to trade. Maybe I should have waited for more factors. But then again, 3 factors of support doesn't seem like it's necessarily a bad thing yet until I gather more statistics. So I'll do that. Very conservative on the trade, meaning I wasn't aggressive. It's a 12-second trade, which it is what it is. We're going against the wave. So what does this mean? If anybody's familiar with Nadro, it's going to be rhythm. So the market does a rhythm, right? This statistic is actually interesting because it is not hurting me. And it's not Is this it right here? I think this is it. These are all of them. This is going against the rhythm of the market. This is going into the rhythm of the market. For whatever reason, it seems like I can trade just fine. So that's, you know, the market kind of does that rotational bullshit. It's my theory is if I go into the rhythm, the trade should perform better, but it doesn't seem to be mattering right now. Maybe with something else it could matter. Right here, so we know, what was it, 78s or so is about the mid. So we're kind of, there is a higher time frame, and we are going against it. Right here. This is the bottom of the hour. I think the entry was good. I can't complain about it one bit. It worked for me for 2 ticks, but then it blew me out. Did have multiple factors of support on it. So let's mark it up. Let's see what happened. And again, for me, this process is so important because this is how we learn. I noticed too many of you guys just don't do this process very well. And then you guys fucking have the same problems over and over. So we got one factor that's actually wrong. So this is, I'll explain those in just a moment. So we're going to mark my entry, which again, it worked 2 ticks in my favor. We got in at 69 evens, which was here. So it did work a little bit. And then it ended up blowing out. So ME means my entry, MX is my exit. I don't think it was a bad trade, 70-75s. At all. There's a reclaim in this section. There's some reclaiming over here, but it's not. I don't think it's a bad trade. I think it's a decent go at it. So we'll paste that in there just so we have the screenshot. So 1 XCV and 2 CV, this is converging. So you have 1 red box here and then 2 smaller boxes meeting at roughly the same area. So this area roughly has 3 areas where the price is staying below these boxes, which is abnormally high volume. So for me, that's a good trade. Just didn't work. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to give it a green star because I think it was a good loss. A lot of times losses can be really bad. Then we flip hit. So I do go the other way, which is not a bad trade by any means. How many contracts? 12. So we flip it. Keep in mind, it's taken me years and years to. I started on 2, was on 4 forever. 8s. So we flip it here. And this is a decent flip because they're actually coming back through this area. I noticed that if these areas don't hold, they're gonna puke it. Now this one only gives me 2 as well. Instantly dumps. Actually, that's interesting because this is a 2 factor when I got into it. Should have took a break even. And then it just is not working. So I get fooled on this. It fakes me out on the short side. It fakes me out on the long side. Right? So I get faked out really badly in here. The next trade will be a win after this. But 71 evens is where we get in on this. Just here. Does work out for 2 ticks. So I don't know if I could have pushed it, not pushed it. It did go down to a I think it was a good trade as well. Sometimes you just take good losses. Like, it's not a good idea to pick apart losses and be like, oh, I should never done that. Right? I think this had everything going for what I like. I normally trade like this. Made sense, but I got faked out again. So my thing is, did it have enough factors of support on it? You can see that right here, it goes down on virtually no volume. So there's a lot of spoofing going on. So it'll get pushed up on high amounts of volume, and then it'll dump on virtually nothing, like here. And it's doing it on both sides. I think this is I think I flip again. So we're going to get rid of that because that's the next trade. I don't want to see it on the screenshot for this one trade. So we still have, at the time of my entry, it was still a 2-factor of support with one over here. I just happen to flip it, so a lot of the tags are exactly the same. I don't think this is bad. Maybe I'm experiencing some weird pattern erosion, or who knows, because sometimes shit just doesn't work well. It just happens. So I know I go against the slip on here. We're going in to a bigger range. This one would be, I'll give it a mid on the wave. Pretty conservative for the most part. Actually, it's somewhat aggressive. We do hold it. We do hold this trade a lot longer than, because I'm just willing to get it to try to work. So we are getting a bit aggressive on it. Pretty clear on what I want. No emotions are involved on this specific trade. I don't think it's a bad entry. Usually something like, and it also had a massive reclaim right here, which will actually mark that up. That could have really helped me out. So we did have huge reclaim advantage on this end, but there was also a little bit behind me. What I do know is the market does cycle up into this odd price action that I do struggle with, and I'm still trying to decipher like exactly how to finesse it or identify it. Because a lot of this to me is good trades. It just didn't fucking work either way. Which is fine. I think the trade was decent. Maybe I could have waited for a bit of a pullback on it instead of nailing it right off the rip. I do notice that I might be getting in a bit early on some of these things. So ideal entry, i.e. should have waited for some pullback. And then when it got thick in here, we could have potentially looked for it. And if we had done that, we would have realized it was 2 factors of support at that time, and it just wouldn't be good, and they did blow that out. I think there was a lack of patience on this, actually. Let's upload that new updated screenshot. So I think I was way early. I think I had an urge to trade. Lack of patience. I was also feeling sick, and I wanted to get the session kind of over with. Was it a good exit? Even if I had got in right here, I would have still attempted to potentially push it. Honestly, though, the trade wouldn't have been working right away. And I know my reactions were slightly slower than normal, so ideal exit. Notice the price would have got really jammed in here. Had I been a little sharper, I would have, usually I would react to something like that. Because it's not really running, but it's also not. It's just stalling bad, and usually that's grounds to get the fuck out. So at the time it had a factor here, and when it did blow backwards, it had a 2-factor on the back end, 3-factor. It's a yellow star because it had management issues on the buy and the sell side. Give it multiple factors of support. Now we do pick up what we lost on the next trade. We flip again. So we do need to make sure we have the flip hit. This trade's 23 seconds. It's pretty low. We can see that that's the one. We exit, and then we start fighting our way back into it. It is still a 3-factor. Actually, it might be higher at this point. I think this is about a... yeah, it is a bit higher. So I'm like, I need a bankroll. So I'm trying to do damage control because at this point I'm down like $2,000, right? So instead of holding this all the way to the lows, I'm like, I need to start fixing some of this problem. Because this trade works relatively right away. And you do have a factor. You do have about 3 factors up there. So you have a lot of converging. Now my question is, how much further up does it come? Could I have got 16 ticks out of it? We're not going to worry about these other trades. I just want to know how far it would have went before it would have come up my ass. So we're going to run the calculator, do a little math. Give me a second while I pull up calculator. Oh, I don't know what happened to my damn calculator, so give me a minute here. So we get in calculator, and I'm filming with my phone, so we get in at 68.25. 68.25. How low would that have gone before it started to rotate? About 64-ish. Minus 64 times 4, that's 17 ticks. So this trade worked right away. So we could have pushed it a little harder. I'm trying to track how, when a trade works right away, how far is it going on 1 to 0 MAE trades? Like, what are the statistics behind that? So far, there's really not much useful information. Definitely against here. Relatively conservative. So let's look at our entry. And let's mark it up. So 30-second short. Oh, I don't think I've been time stamping these. It's all right. 3-second chart. We get in and it works relatively right away. 68.25. And my entry, my exit is going to be 66.25s. We know we have a 3-factor of support up here. So 3x CV. This is interesting because it does morph into a 2-factor, but at the time of the entry, it was a 1x. That trade worked. So here's something interesting that's starting to show up. Definitely reclaim against on that. So here's something interesting that's starting to show up. Close window. This is this one was a 4-factor. While the other losing trades were 3 factors. So I've been really questioning if 3 factors of support have been hurting me or helping. Okay. And we can see that 3-factor, 3-factor, 4. Now I do know I start to take losses on some 4s. Then we're going to lose that exact trade again. And then we dig out, we get into another. So we lose 1350, 1200, then we make 2200. So this is, it starts to become a very roller coaster session. So far, though, I don't think it's horrific trading. 1, 2, 3, 4. It amazes me how many of you guys don't find this to be at all fascinating. We ran some A/B testing on videos, and it turns out you guys respond better to AI slop than a normal thumbnail. So we flip this. It does work. So you have a rotation off of this area, which is over 1,000 contracts on the sell side. We chase this, which is might be fucking retarded. I do believe, let's see. Favor. No, this is like wave against, man. On this. Trade's relatively low time frame. We're definitely putting a reclaim right up our butthole. But it's accepting here that you have 1, 2, 3. But these are kind of wide, too. So this has what I need it to have. And we exit down there, and then it fucking ends up working. Okay, so maybe these need to be a little tighter. I don't know, but let's see what happened. See if I can identify any issues here. 30 seconds short, 3 second. We get in at 65 25s. They seem to really aggressively reclaim. So there was 3 factors not pictured here. 3x, CV. Not all were pictured. My exit is at 65.25. At 36.59. So that's about correct. They may have been. I think I might have been getting into these things way too late, to be fair. Let me actually screenshot this on entry because I want to know 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get in here, right? "30-second that's a long, actually. We're really fucking high off of this. I think I might be getting into this shit too late. But I'm also waiting for acceptance. And I chased that too. I couldn't get filled on it. I think I chased this son of a bitch, to be fair. I think, yeah, I think there's like some chasing going on. Because ideally, I should have been nailing it down here. Which I would have missed it. And I should have just let it go. Because I did chase this. So this is actually a 4-factor. You have 1 here, 3 here. Entry's definitely late. I think that could have been the problem. Typically, I would be scalping something like this. This would be a closed window. Multiple factors. Super late. We know there's management issues on it. And we exit right the fuck there. And it's pretty interesting to see how I think that might be what's going on here. It's the chasing. This is what's getting me. Like, I'm just getting in a little too late. The damn market is going. I'm waiting for acceptance, which is good. But by the time it accepts, like, usually that works. 76. 67 fives. Usually that would work out for me. My exit is going to be at 65.25. So we get smashed. Hard rotation. They're slip ranging here. Quite aggressively, too. Notice how there's hard buying volume here. But the price virtually goes down on nowhere near as much volume that came in. It seemed what's going on is it's moving a lot on hard volume and then it just comes back in on not shit. I'm chasing these fucking things. That's what I'm starting to think. We'll see. We'll look at the tags and see my entry exit criteria. Again, let me let me do this. Let me modify this. Cuz really I should have got in it a lot earlier. Ideal entry. And I tried, but I chased it. So that's not good. I wonder if there's I think there might be contentment issues. I know what's going on. I'm just way late on it. How's the exit? Shit. I think I overhold it as well. I think I'm starting to run into psychological issues. I'm also feel like shit too. It's just not working. I could have cut it a little bit sooner. It's just not fucking working. What's interesting though is the same issue I had on the first two trades I'm having here as well. On this one worked, but now I'm starting to encounter the same issue, and then I flip it again. Same issues here, so there might be something I can study from trade 1, 2, 4, and 5, which we haven't looked at yet. Bit aggressive on this trade because we do push it. Actually, it is a little bit aggressive. I should have cut it. So there seems to be a common theme, and I'm wondering if it's, what is it? Early and held too long on trade 2. This one is late and held too long. So there's something showing itself. We're starting to see something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a 2-factor up here, which is good. So that's a 5-factor. And then you have, and here you also have a high count as well. Now this does work in my favor 3. What is that? How many is that? What's up there? Give me a moment. 3? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-factor. Then we flip it. Okay. See, this trade had a lot of. This is actually really high. How did you trade and work full time? I trade similar to yourself. It's very active and took a loss today due to meetings. I didn't. Well, I worked in restaurants part time, so I had worked in fine dining in the evening. So I had all day to work or to trade, and then markets are closed, and then I just went to. So I didn't do this office shit with this simultaneous trading. But I made sure to set my self up so I could do this in a way that like I made sure that I could work around trading. See, this was good. 2x CV. I need to figure this out, though, for sure. I want to figure this out. This is a 4x. This is like a high it does work on the other end. Right? This definitely works on the other end. 68.50s. I think I get in about here. Because it only goes in my favorite 3 ticks. And then I exit at 70.50s. So I don't know if it's like here I'm exiting and rapidly flipping or what have you. Lots of flips. Lots of flips. So 838.10 is when we actually 839.04 is when I get out of it. So we're actually getting out of it up here. We're going to hide this trade because this is not the same one. Again, it makes sense to me. It makes complete sense to be in this. To the short side, it's not a bad trade. I've not been labeling these flip hit. No, this isn't a flip hit. Not yet. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell going on? Yeah, I threw up. I threw up in the middle of that trade. When we get to it, we'll talk about it. Like, I was definitely not feeling. I was queasy as shit. I think this is a good trade. It had everything going for it. Just something happened to where these trades just were fucking struggling. It could have been, I noticed that some of the entries and exits are what got me. I also took a lot of risks today. We get in a shitload of trouble. And then there was a really good trade I should have took off because I would have made fucking 2K. And like I would have been up 2K after it was said and done. It went a lot in my favor. It was, which one was it? This one went 31 ticks in my favor. Right, if we go up here and go to where was it? Yeah, about 4,600 on that trade. Had I fucking but it came all the way back in. It came in aggressively too. Relatively conservative. We're short. We are against. I think this one was tight as shit too. Yeah, the entry was pretty tight. No looseness to it whatsoever. Just didn't work, man. I think this is a good trade. Then we flip. But the problem is I'm on a losing battle here. It's like I'm getting wins, but when I'm like, if we look at the total, we're on what, trade 5 or some shit? We're about to look at the $2,000 win. I'm still gonna be down 1,600. It's like I get this down channeling fucking equity curve. So that's telling me there's something wrong. I don't know if it's chasing or what it is. I need to figure it out for sure. Right? So for me, it's like if something like this is not holding. So this time I get in early. Instead of waiting for full acceptance, I'm like, I'm going to nail this early. Because I feel like I'm getting into trades late. Or some shit. So then we nail it. And then I'm like, all right, I need to roll a little bit. So let's get a screenshot of the entry. So I'm trying to bankroll. I'm trying to like fix some of the problems to make my losses not so bad. Like I don't want to hold to the moon because a lot of times when I do that, it comes back time and time again. So we get in at 70.25. It does go against me 3 ticks. We're getting in at 39.07s. About here. 70.25. Right? It's got everything I need for... It's got everything I need, but I actually nail it at roughly the right time. Okay, and then we're going back into the range here against. Is this conservative? Is the trade tight? Will the event today be choppy? So I noticed that pre-market volume was fucking horrific. And then I noticed that, man, this thing was spoofing badly. Like you can see in the delta, they were pushing it on like a lot of delta or a lot of volume, and then it would come back up on nothing. Will today's events be the normal? I don't know, man. These market regimes are always changing, and it's like this constant adapting to it. It's this constant. But there was an A+ trade that's set up. So there is something that I do notice, and I'll go over it. So we have 6 here. Good entry. We do want to, let me tag this and I'll share my thoughts. Okay. Closed. Gathering my data. So let's go back here. I do want to look at the exit. So let's go ahead and screenshot the entry on it. Again, I need to get my exit and entry on this. It's a flip hit. So there's this manipulation tactic I noticed they do. 70.25s again. Somewhere right in there. And we run it all the way to 74s. So we get it right as it starts to rotate. See, and that could have easily come back into me and through. So this is why I try to bankroll it or what have you, or just exit on the basis of momentum instead of trying to hold, which that does change at some point. This one's slightly aggressive as well because I'm willing to push it. It's a good trade though. So what I notice, and this one is super tight on entry. Yeah, it's super tight. So here's what I notice happens. Somebody told me to get a whiteboard app, and I forgot the name of it. You'll see them like do this nasty shit, like so. But you'll see it like, for example, it'll go down on huge volume. And it'll go down on huge volume, down on huge volume. And then what you'll see is you'll see them rip it up on nothing. Rips it up on nothing. Right? And I noticed they, like, what's happening is the offers are just pulling. So it goes down on huge sell volume, but then the offers fucking pull. Huge sell volume, offers pull. Huge sell volume, offers pull. And then it just starts ripping up on virtually no volume. What I'm thinking, I don't know, I just notice it's like almost like somebody's accumulating a larger position, or there's something going on. There's a reason for that. I don't know what exactly. But as they're doing that, it's like, I don't know if it's a position being built or some shit. But, I mean, as we look through this volume, you can see it happen a lot. Let's continue to just sort of watch it. Let me go to the next trade, which is trade 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So check this out. I mean, look at this large amounts of buying. Like, if we look at it here, right? You have large amounts of buying. All the way up to here, really. You have from 1,200 deltas, 1,600. So what is that, like 400 contracts roughly? So this move in here, we'll make it green. This one up on 400 deltas. Meanwhile, this son of a bitch has gone down on not even. Right? It's gone the same distance on not shit. So you're looking at what? 1150 by 1350. So we'll just call it 13 by 11, 300. So this down move has gone down 300, if that. So this is, it took 400 to get it up and 300 to just jam it the fuck down. So what that's telling me is there's a lot less fucking bids. And they're doing it on both sides. It's not one side. And they just, all the bids disappear. Like 100 of the bids disappear as it just jams down on nothing. It might even be less. I mean, notice this sell volume here. Like if you look at this sell volume, because my math is probably not super. It's about this wide. Right? So if we kind of do it like so, it's about 2.5 less volume to go the same distance. Bids disappear, man. But they're doing it on both fucking sides, and that you just don't know until it already happens. That's what makes reading like the order flow so difficult, because then all that liquidity just is gone. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Go grab a beer or something. You had a huge win. Well, let me review what happened. You know what I mean? I want to review this, you know, for me, and I'm gonna like hang out and chill later, but I feel like a bull trap with the tariff stuff going on. I don't pay attention to the news too much. I don't really, it's just one of those days. I've seen this type of day before, where you're just getting relentless slipping on both ends. It just, but I got to review, man. Got to review this motherfucker. This little fucker was a nice one too. 1 factor, 2, 3. Notice there's a red, a green, and they all converge at exactly the same tick. To me, this is a perfect entry. Goes up, and then comes right back in on nothing. So I take a tick on it. Could have held it. But at this point, I'm like super skittish. Yeah, for me, like today, I mean, I don't know. I got to review every session. So it kind of went whoop, and then it struggled up, and then rug pulled down. I'm like, fuck. So I'm starting to get skittish at this point. I want to actually kind of watch that in slow motion a little bit. So it goes up on a not shit there. Let's see. Okay, it just kind of tweaks out, and it just wash trades a little bit. Oh. I can do this frame by frame. Let me actually do that. I want to see what happened in the order flow right here, because so 25 lots, 30, so it's 38 by 22. To me, that's wash trading. So if we look at that, how do I do this? Give me a second. So what is that? 38 minus 22. It's about 16 contracts. 19 by 8, 25. Then it goes 16, 1. So it goes down on a 15 lot right there. Or 16. It's up. And then look, it clears out on a 7 here. So if you're not looking at the fact of wash trading, it just goes down on nothing. But look at your advertised depth. It's like 50, 40 lots. That's never what fucking trades. It's all bullshit. Then another 2 lot comes in. So 8, 9 contracts, but I think it's being wash traded, so I think it's a lot less. So let's mark this up. So it's a 30-second trade. It's a long. I also don't like to celebrate big wins or anything like that. And the reason for that is, hold on, 71.25s. I don't want to get overly excited on something, and I don't want to get I don't want to get overly excited and celebrate because I can just fucking lose it. You know what I mean? If you get overly excited, you're probably going to get overly pissed. And I've had big trades like this before. To me, it doesn't. It's just whatever. You know, it's just part of the job. So let's look at, so that trade, let's see if we could have held it. We do have wave favor on it. It's super conservative. It was so fucking fast I couldn't really react too much to it. Favor here. We definitely, it looks like I have slip advantage on it. I 100% do. Mid slip. This is going to be close window. Pretty clear about what I'm attempting to do. It has the bare minimum of what I'm looking for. Typically. Good trade. Could I have held it? Could I have held it? Could I have held this son of a bitch? It looks like I get faked out slightly, but I'm getting super skittish because of how it's treating me. Wait, what time do we enter this at? 42:55. Okay, so it's right in here. 71.25s. Somewhere in here, whatever. Oh yeah, it was over here. It didn't go against me but a tick. Right? We get out right up in this section. You did have massive reclaim advantage. I'm getting ultra skittish because of what's happened to me earlier in the sessions. Typically, I would attempt to push something like that. Had it worked, it would have blown out so fucking quick. Yeah, I could have probably held it for more. And you still have this giant honker of a reclaim over in this section, which I like. Right? So to me, that's not too bad. It seems like there's a lot of management issues, and I think I might be over adjusting based off of what's happening to me on the prior trades and shit. Had I held it, it could have been worth 16 ticks maybe. Right? We get in at 71.25s. Oh, I get shaken out right here. 71. Where does this go to? Well, it goes all the way to 77 evens minus 71.20. We'll just call it 71.25. That's the entry times 4. 23 ticks roughly. Had I, because it worked right away for the most part. Yeah, 0 and 16. So yeah, it would have worked out. Again, I'm trying to gather stats on what happens if a trade works right away. I don't know if that really matters. Then we're going to lose 900. Then we're going to make 750. Let me go to trade 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 3-factor trade. It's not high. Well, it's not super tight. I think this one's questionable as well. Well, not really super quiet. No, it looks okay. It's a 3-factor. So I'm wondering if these 3 factors are going to fucking kill me. 2, 1. So let's do this. Let's look at the statistics. I want to look at just today, so we'll go to main dash. I'm curious about just today. Widget filters, date add filter. Let's do today. The 3-factor trades are killing me. Or no. Yeah, it's 3-factor. What is that? 4-factor. 6-factor is performing. But so far, not much else is going on. Could be late entries. I don't know. I'm going to figure this the fuck out. So we have a 3-factor. Does not work. It has acceptance. I'm like, shit. Like, okay, this is kind of the threshold of the bounce. Then we do yet another flip hit. Which, by the way, did I put flip on that other one? No, that wasn't a flip. We're at 78s. We're at the midpoint now of this higher time frame range. Midpoint here. None. Let's screenshot it. So, again, guys, I think the worst thing you can do is walk away from a session and not figure out what the fuck happened. I don't think my trading was like horrific, but the performance just didn't seem to be there on most of it. So this one, 845.17, and Chronic was struggling pretty badly as well. And we were just doing what we normally should be doing. But I don't want to make like all these like rule changes or system jump or do anything like that, right? I don't want to do anything I don't want to make drastic changes without trying to narrow down exactly what the hell happened. And this is what I always say, you're going to learn more from your reviews than anything else. Which, this is not a popular video. I can already tell you guys that, looking at the statistics on it. It blows my mind, because the things most of the trading community cares about is really nonsense. Like, when it comes to the real deal shit to get better, most of the trading community does not care. You could just see it in the statistics of how certain things perform or whatever. So when you guys complain about the type of content that comes out, the reason that type of content is so popular is because that's what the community fucking responds to, man. It's the moment you start to get a little dense on something, 4517s. The moment you start to get a little dense on something, it just nobody cares. I think the dream of doing this job is a lot sexier than when you actually have to do this shit. Right? Which I enjoy it. Interesting. They fucking hit a reclaim on the delta keeps retracing, by the way. I noticed that a lot of... So at this point, I'm starting to notice, and I can tell you this, because I'm going to get more aggressive on my holds. I start to notice they're really retracing the shit. Like, you'll see buyers come in like this, and then the sellers immediately it starts to come out. Like, look, right here, there was a big sell bar, big buy bar, cluster of selling here, cluster of buying as well. So I noticed that the market, the buyers and sellers are just constantly churning. So there's a reclaim there. We got, to me, this is what, wait, is this a 3-factor? At the time, I would say maybe 3x. CV possibly. What is that bottom? No, this is a 4. No, because when I get into it, well, hold up. It is a 3. 3x convergence. 1, 2, 3. Maybe even more than that. It's almost like a 4. Or is it? Give me a moment to stare at it for a second. So we've got 1, 2. See, this shit is a little spread out further than I would like, and that just can create too much slop. I think there might be a problem. I think I might need another tag. Because I want to know how loose are these fucking things when I get into them. I would argue to say it's a 3. Then you have a 1x. It's a good trade, nevertheless, but it just doesn't work. And it's like, well, they're also chop walking up into this reclaim. You can see them chop walking up. So can they finish that off? Sometimes you see that. I'll read your comments in just a moment. Let me finish this tag. Oop, I don't know if I had the right screen up. So when we get into it, it's relatively tight. Definitely against on that. Pretty conservative. I don't hold it to oblivion. I feel clear on it. I don't think it's a bad trade at all. I think it's a great trade. It just did not work. I'm just getting trades that are not working. I don't even know if making an adjustment, maybe going for higher factors of support or what. Let's see, 45s, close window. Definitely MFS on it. Let's see. Yeah, so far, trade review in a manner similar what you're doing right now has been the most helpful thing I've done so far. It doesn't end either. What's up, everyone just tuning in? What's up, man? Just reviewing the session. There's a $15,000 trade we're working our way towards slowly. This process doesn't stop. The moment you do, you're I'm telling you, because I got decent at trading and then I stopped it. I stopped doing it. It's a flip. And then my trading started to get really sloppy. It just doesn't end, man. A pro athlete doesn't win fucking championships and then they don't go to practice or do whatever. So I'm like, they need to bounce it. And then I'm like, fuck, they're going to potentially accept it. I get in, I nail it on a good entry, by the way. So I think I seem to be making the proper adjustment. And the proper adjustment is not chasing or getting in late, which we saw 2 of those tags show up. Now the entries seem to be tightened. So subconsciously I did something to make a decent go at it. Now we cut it. I probably should have held it. That's another issue I'm starting to notice here. Is I need to, there's a few of these. Okay, these are, I'm starting to see the problem. It's these minute management adjustments or issues. Let's see. I need to get a screenshot where I don't delete those boxes. Ah, fuck. Okay. Oh, man, I keep not having the right screen up for you guys. So we get in short. It's a flip. And a flip hit. I think, actually, I need to re-screenshot that. So what I do is I look at these timestamps, and if I don't have these timestamps up here when I'm tagging, because I'm using those timestamps to like make sure because when I put it on screenshot mode like this, I can't scroll up on that. Like everything in this screenshot mode, I can't adjust the other windows or whatever, so I have to like do this. So I'm looking at this window 75. 75. We're getting in about here. So we do the flip. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, it's the same. It's a 4 factor. But if on some of these, if I can just hold them, but I'm all fucking skittish and shit, right? 1x CV. So we have, again, let's see how that stat is starting to perform. Put that in there. 1 and 3. So this is almost the same trade as that. Wait, that last one was a 3 convergence? Thought it was 4. Let's look at it again. It is a 4. No, that's wrong. Yeah, this is a 4. Right? Yeah. We want to make sure we get these as accurate as possible. Very clear. Needed to hold more. Ultra conservative. Favor here. We're near the midpoint, so we're still near the mid of this higher time frame range. Which, when I get to the... And do I have reclaim advantage on it? relatively tight. Still a closed window environment. So this is 4 factors, which historically has been working. I need to hold this for more. For sure. But I'm like ultra skittish. And I need to just like trust in what I'm doing. I think I see what the issues are again. 75s. They just jam out that reclaim. Let's look at it. So that's a different trade, which we get creamed on. Right. This is where I start to like just unwind. So it's a short flip. By labeling short in the time frame of the charts, it just helps me know the direction and shit. We need to get rid of that because that's a different trade. Again, 75. A lot of problems traders have is holding losers too long and not holding their winners. I struggle with that as well. There's a nice, you have a double R here, so 2 reclaims. You have a reclaim on the delta. And I'm not sure how well this performs, but if I get a reclaim on the delta, 2XR. And that would have been a big fucking trade. That would have fixed a shitload of issues. 72. So you have 76 by 72.50. $72 by 76.50. Give me a minute. So what would that have been? 76 minus 72.50. That is 3.5 points times 14 ticks. That would have been about $2,100 if I could have pulled that off well. Which instead of $750, that would have helped substantially. There was another really solid trade in here where I didn't make much. This $150 trade, I should have pushed it. Do I not have any held too long trades? I think there might be a few in here. There's 1, 2. It's interesting. It's mixed between holding too long, hold more, and we have, it's 2 and 2. 2 trades I held too long, 2 trades I should have held for more. But I don't want to hindsight my hold mores. You know what I'm saying? I want to physical and emotional pain. I'm still hung up on what you consider a factor of support as well, as if all factors of support are created equal. It's not too difficult. Let's look at this next trade, trade 10. 1, 2, 3. So I'll explain it. So I want the edges of these boxes. So if I have a shitload of boxes, it doesn't matter who's where. I want as many of these edges as close to each other as possible. That would be 3 factors of support. And what I'm doing is I'm tracking abnormally high buying or selling. So, you know, if somebody's on a 30-second sells or buys 500 to 1,000 contracts all at once without the delta flipping to buying or selling or what have you, sustained buying and selling. So I'm looking for abnormally high sustained buying and selling. If a bunch of those areas are converging, that's telling me large traders are battling here. So I want to pivot. I want to play off of that. It's pretty mechanical. If the market's coming down, I want to pull off of it. I want to pull back. If the market's coming up into this, I want to push off of it. Now, there are these times where I've noticed it'll come in and it'll struggle, and if it does that, it'll typically puke and go like pretty hard. Which some of my flip hits, two of them, or at least one of them, I should have pushed. That last one we just looked at. So it's basically abnormally high buying or selling deltas. Here's a giant green box. That's over 1,000, 1,200 buying. So the moment they come out the box on one side or the other, it's over with. So I don't give a shit which way it is. Why is that? Okay, so if they are like this, the moment it comes out the top of this is fine, but the moment it breaches this by a tick, that box is deleted. It could come all the way through and then do this. The moment so after it's created, it's kind of like playing a value area. After it's created, only one time it works until it comes out both sides. Because think about it, there's heavy amount of selling that came in and it created this area. Well, if it bounces, then the sellers are defending it. But the moment it fails to break and it comes out the other side, well, it doesn't matter anymore. It's not being defended. So you have a red box here, the top of a red box here. There'd be about 2 factors of support. Then you have, because that's huge selling there. Then you have over here, you have like one. I need those lines to be tighter. I notice they're relatively loose. The tighter the lines, the better it seems to work. This trade just instantly fucks me. So it's bouncing off of these two, which is great. They're fucking slipping too. Huge selling. Notice how it pulls back hard here, but it actually goes up on selling volume. So somebody just bids it up right there. See, there's only one little bit of buying delta. So it's all fucked. The order flow is all fucked up. Let's see. Did I code what? So as they go, so we're hitting a bounce here and it just doesn't work. I'm holding it. It's not too bad of a hold. And then I go, good God, and then we flip again, which has been the theme. Flipping used to get me in a lot of trouble. Now, this is a trade where I leave a tremendous amount of money on the table. And I would say on this next one, I start to like give in a bit. No, the boxes aren't coded. I just manually draw them. Somebody did code them, but they were all fucked up. They didn't work right. So now we need to look at this. See, we're an hour and a half into this, and it's like just halfway done reviewing. This is also why I really don't like to overtrade either. Because then it's like, fuck. So we get in at 47.27. Be about here. 71, 75s. So if they don't, I mean, if, bleh, if it fucking is not bouncing, they'll typically go through it. But I start to get really fooled. There's times where it fucks with both sides. But the question is it the number of factors of support? Do I just need to like not trade 3 factors and only go for 4? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Right? So they do push it down. At the time of entry, we had, see, this is a 3. So 2x. So 2 boxes roughly close to each other on the entry. I'd say this green one down here is a little too far. And then at the time of getting into this, it's just barely breaching above this one. So I'm trying to get in a little bit earlier than I had been. So we go for it. Does not work. So now we're really far from the middle of the range, because again on the 30-minute time frame there's a range. I'm actually trying to go into it, and then we do have reclaim advantage, which didn't work. And we definitely had like advantage here, which didn't, I don't think really matters. Relatively conservative on it. Still not at the top of the hour. Pretty clear about what I'm doing. But it's interesting because this is a 3 factor. I hope what I said makes sense. I think it was a good trade. Just didn't work. Again, is it the number of support? You hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm because, my God, we're grinding. Let's take a look here and see. So this is today's filters. We can see the three factors of support are fucking murdering us after 4 trades. 4 factors of support, which usually does really well for me, is starting to work. I'm really curious though, because I have a tag called hold more. I have 2 of those. What were they on? Okay, that's interesting. So let me explain. I'm starting to remember there were 2 trades where I needed to hold more. Let's find them real quick. It would be this one here, where I got in here. I should have pushed it. This was a 4 factor trade. The next trade where I should have held more, this one. This also is a 4 factor. Let's do some math. So let me actually, let's do a little bit of math. Excuse me. So that would have been worth, we're at what, 7150s? 73, 75. That's 9 ticks. So you're looking at 9 ticks on that trade. The other one was worth a lot more. This one was worth 76, 7 or 70, 75, 75s. Or not 75, 70. Yeah, it is 75. 75 minus 7250. That would have been 13 ticks plus the 9 ticks times 150. That would have put us up 3,300 on the 4 factors. It seems like I shouldn't be going for 3 factors of support. We're on trade 9. Trade 9 is at minus 1769. We would have been up an additional 2 or so grand. Would have put us up here. So I'm not holding the trades I need to hold. Main dash. So what I did was I put on the hold more tag, master filter, because I want to know which one of these tags is being affected. What about the held too long? What is that on? A 4 factor and a 3. What about entry? We have an early entry. What was that on? A 4 factor. What about my late entry? A 4 factor. Wait, the other one was a 3. Entry early. A 3 and a 4. Okay. So I can push the 4s a little more. It seems like the more there are, the bigger the blowout. And that's what I'm trying to solve. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out, like, what can I push harder on? How many factors of support can I really push? So trade 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22, 17. There's a better way to do that. Oops. So this is, we just saw that. It goes straight up into a flip with a fucking reclaim out my fucking butthole. Which I don't really personally like, but I do that shit. This is definitely wave against. Then we're going to get married to it. So I start to, like, just throw in the towel and stop fighting so hard. That 30-minute range, I'm like, I'm going to push this 30-minute range, which will probably show up in the stream later, and I'm going to start screenshotting it. But this is where I'm like, I'm going to go for that trade. I do want to create a new tag for it. Stick it in here. It's going to be a reclaim assisted range break. RC ass range break. So I can probably name it something later. So I know I'm going for this trade here. I need to track this. So I know I'm going for this trade. And when we get to it, I'll break it down. So this one's interesting because it has a box here, a box here, and a box here. So I'm anticipating See, the boxes are looser too. As well. I think I need these boxes tighter. I've actually noticed this in prior sessions. So let me show you guys. So if you have a bunch of boxes where they're like, you know, you got, that would be about 3 factors of support, but then right below it, like, let's just say you got all this bullshit, okay? And I didn't draw them very good, but what matters is these intersections right here. I can go for the break on that, but then it quickly runs into this area. And I feel like that's what might be happening. And if that's the case, I need to know like how loose are these things? What are they running into? Because look, there's a red box here. There's the bottom of a red and the top of a green here. But just above it, you have a green with these 2 reds that are really close to each other. I don't think this entry was all that good. I think I'm flip hitting. This is where I'm starting to get cross-eyed, and my stomach is starting to churn really bad. I think I'm not seeing the pattern at this point. Didn't see a pattern. Ultra aggressive. 30-minute hold. Am I clear? I would say I'm in between. Do I have contentment issues? I think it's creeping in at this point. Am I upset? No. It's very rare that I get like pissed off. But that doesn't mean something else could be happening. I don't think there's a lack of patience. It's just simply not seeing that I'm running into a fucking problem. Because while seeing this is another fucking 3 factor too. Which again, these have not been performing. See, last Wednesday my data was a little skewy on it. I wasn't quite sure how well those performed. I'm basically thinking out loud right now, guys, so you're kind of like getting a little glimpse into my fucking head. Like I'm really attempting to solve problems right the fuck now, so I don't think the trade should have happened. Red star it. Because I'm not seeing what is going on. Now that I see, it's not like it was an intentionally a bad trade. I'm just not catching. Like I'm like tunnel visioning. And then I know I start to like give up on it a little bit. Like I'm not willing to fight. And then I'm like willing to. This trade is on the border of this is good and it's bad. I have the giving up tag on it. When you just kind of start to throw in the towel a bit. I'm not going to tag the exit because we're going to go through this really quickly. But we know we get in here. Let's go ahead and I think it immediately goes against me because there's a, oh, it works. How far does it go in my favor though? What, 5 ticks or some shit? $70.50 down to 68.75, which would be here. It's 7 ticks. think I start to hold it too long. 2. I think contentment is creeping in because I'm tired of fucking fighting. Pretty interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and screenshot the initial entry because I want to make sure I have everything done right. Okay, so we'll get that. So we get in here at 70.50s. Right about here. But what's interesting is they're starting to breach this other area. So I would think that there is a reason to hold. I don't think I should have necessarily exited. Because it's breaching this area. It's starting to breach this other area here. So for me, that is a reason to hold. But it just doesn't work. So I don't think this is correct. Maybe I'll adjust that later. Unfortunately, I do need a lot of this to kind of come in. And auto draw 1, 2, 3. That's a 4 factor right there. So had I been catching this, that's an even higher quality trade. Could have broke even. You have what's interesting is there's a 3 factor. 3 factor here, 1, 2, 3, 4 factor down here. Right? And they keep fucking around, slipping. So the 4 factor beat out the 3 factor. So this is a really long trade, so I'm going to zip through the drama of it all. Oh, shit. Fuck. I accidentally rewound the whole thing. So trade 11. 1, 2. So at this point, I realize that they're really puking on these reclaim or the deltas and shit. At this point, I'm like, I'm going to get into this 30-minute hold, and I'm going to try to push it. You have some reclaim advantage down there. I think this is when it works or some shit. No, not quite. It keeps floating off me. So when it floats off my trade again, let's see how many factors there are. 1, 2. What is that? About 3 or so. 3 here, 4 there. So it's still a 4 factor. Drawing this shit is problematic. This does need to be automated. That is definitely an issue. Notice this is getting real cluster fucked up here. High amounts of buying. And to me, I'm like, dude, the high time frame has so much shit going on for it. You have so much shit intersecting. I'm like, this is going to probably puke at this point. So sometimes when you... Okay, this is when I think it starts to drop. So I'm waiting for this to really go far. I think 46s or some shit, which is really, really far. But unfortunately, it just like spoofs up. So look, a 9 by like a 7 lot. Let's see what it's going up. 25. You do 33 minus 21. That's barely shit. $28 by 22. So that would be like barely shit. So you got to subtract this shit. But there's a lot of areas where it's not going. They kind of like run on top of each other in wash trade. But it's being boosted up on not shit. If you 34 by minus 11, that what is that? Like 20 something, if that. Getting a little bit of reloading. But notice that. Look where the selling started. Back here. Notice how the market has gone up. Look at this little green bar. Tremendous amounts of selling. Going way the fuck up on barely shit. The offers are pulling. Then it comes back on me. I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to flip it again. I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I've been in trades like this before where they aggressively walk on top of you. And then it's like, dude, if you hold it, you're fucked. Like that just, it took so much energy to go down and it went up on nothing. I'm like, okay, maybe they're pivoting the bottom of the range. Maybe they're pivoting the bottom of the range and it's going to come back in. Should I have cut it? Well, it didn't really spend much time down there. Like these are 30-second bars, right? So by the time it finally puked, right, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it's already back on top of me, right? Roughly. At that point, I'm like, fuck, I can roll out of it. But I'm also trying to play a bigger fucking trade. But to be fair, I have multiple factors here. Substantial. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no acceptance. But it's all kind of like spready and on top of each other. My thinking is that can be problematic at times. And that's what's going to cause all this weird racking and shit. Actually, I do want to look at this. I want to look at the screenshots on these guys. So that first trade didn't really have much going on for it. This trade, I don't care about the winners. I want to look at the losers. That's a long. How far does that go in my favor? Barely shit. And when it goes up, it's smacking into... well, that wouldn't necessarily be a reason to exit. I'll have to look at this shit later. But I'm starting to see the problems here. This is a tough one. I think the exit was good. I don't think the trade should have happened. But once I got into it and then it started working out over time, then it was good. I think the initial entry should never fucking happened. This one's kind of good. It's kind of bad at the same time. Like, I'm really racking my brain on how I want to tag it. You know what I mean? Should I have cut it? No, because the intention was to push it. And it just didn't fucking work. And I realized that. I'm like, man, I need to probably cut this. So I think the exit was decent. And then we flip. And due to that spoofy nature, some of these trades go so fast I have a hard time reacting to them. Right? So we flip it here. I think it's in a fucking area where it can do all sorts of nasty shit. So it is working 4 ticks. Do I have time to exit? I really think there's contentment issues on this. I'm trying to push it because I left a shitload of money on the table. So I think I'm trying to revenge trade this one and overshove it. Then I'm like, fuck. Then I flip again. We need to get this. We need to make sure we have this one flip hit. And then this, too many contracts came in on trade 14. I fucked that one up. I clicked too many times. And that really hurt substantially as well. So we flip. Let's look at the long real quick, though. I need to, like, kind of start to tag this. Was it a good trade? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I think I need to make sure that, like, the boxes aren't all loose and shit when I get into these. Let's take a look. So when we get in this one, this is at 70. 75's at the price of, or the time 1745. It's going to be right about there. So the entry, I think am I getting at what? 70, 75's? What's interesting is it flounder fucks forever. You know what I'm saying? It's not working out immediately. Typically, I would like attempt to cut something like that. 69.25-ish. Should have went for a break even. You have on entry 1, 2, 3, but it's also not quite accepting. I think you have a big clusterfuck of shit right here. I think there's too many clashing factors of support. Which is causing pinching. Pinching is when it starts to bang around between a bunch of like, it's not a new phenomenon. When I've traded other setups, like something I used to trade called a gap jump, it would get stuck in between the gap, like these like tight areas structurally, and it would start to pinch and bang around. I think that's what's happening here. I also think it's happening over here as well. So it's pinched up in there too much that it's really hard to determine what's going on. I think the shit is too loose. I think there's too much shit on top and the bottom clashing with each other. I don't think this trade really should have happened, now that I look at it. I think that could be some of the problems. I think I'm not seeing the pattern. Not that it's intentional. I don't know if I don't think it should have happened. I don't think it's a good trade. Let's see here. I don't know if I want to tag this because it has too much shit conflicting. So I'm going to add another tag here. CVX confliction. This is when there's too much shit on both ends of the spectrum, and I'm not really sure. I want to know how bad that's hurting me. I wouldn't say there was a lack of patience. I just was not aware, so I'm not totally seeing what's going on. I have an idea of what's going on, but I'm not seeing what the hell. Oh, I forgot to tag this last timestamp, by the way. Let's see here. I'm not seeing completely. I'm not super clear on what's going on. I'm clear, but I'm not. I'm in between my clarity. This is interesting because I'm getting put into these positions that are very... They're not super cut and dry. Let me write some notes here. So, what do I think's going on that I need to take from this session and apply it for the rest of the week? Well, it's several things here. Give me a minute. Here's what I think went wrong. Here's what I think went wrong. Number one, need 4 factors. Number 2, if MFS is above and below the market, ping pongs horribly. So stay out. These are 2 adjustments that I want to take into tomorrow. So again, did we hold it too long? I don't think the trade should have happened. I'm not gonna tag that exit. We're long on it, and we're going into this. Also, where are we getting in? It's so fucking tight. There's no slipping. There's really not shit else going on here. Definitely against this. Relatively conservative. Doesn't drag on for... Well, we should have cut it. It was a bit aggressive because there's contentment issues, and I did manage that. I held it too long. So we will tag that, even though it's a shit trade. Moving on. This is where I start to get whipsawed horribly. So we flip again. And it gets really tight and just suddenly pukes. And I know this type of environment. I struggle with it, obviously. So we flip, we have a reclaim up our ass. We're going against this. This doesn't seem to exist here and here. The wave patterns are super tight. I go against as well. I'm curious about that. I'm really curious about this. So let's go to let's pull our waves. They're here. Now, I don't think these really matter very much. We'll go to main dash. We'll paste it in here. I'm curious about this specific session. We'll do date. Do I need to pay more attention to them in specific sessions? Interesting. What about the 4-factor support? When we get in on those, since I think those are such good trades, it's been mixed. It's either or. Huh. Okay. I don't really know if there's much going on with that. So, we flip. One, what is there? There's like 2 boxes intersecting here. I think it's a fucking sloppy shit show. Again, confliction. I know that I'm not super clear on this. I know that I'm not seeing certain patterns. I know that this, I'm not super happy with this. I don't know that it was a lack of patience. I'm just not seeing shit. It's just I'm not seeing. I'm blind almost. Then they fucking jam it up on my ass, and then I flip again. At this point, I should be done. And now I'm getting fucking my ass handed to me. This is where I accidentally put way too much in. The good old classic, you're getting fucked on both ends. The problem is a flip hit. It does work. I don't think this trade should have happened again. At this point, we're going to be down 7,900. So to me, I'm like, just they could go either fucking way. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight for this thing. And then I think I'm getting tunnel vision a little bit. I do think I'm getting fixated on the idea instead of just taking a moment, especially on that next one. I don't think this one would be nearly as bad as the next one, which is another fucking go at it. Should never happened. Another pretty bad trade. It's relatively conservative because we cut it pretty quickly. It just immediately does not work. 0 and another 0. Somehow I'm nailing the very tops of moves. And I'm wondering if all that conflicting bullshit is what's killing me. It certainly looks to be the case. And I would not rule that out. And I've thought for some time now that could be the case. So this trade... Oh, man. I mean, one could say, it could have been worth it. Because it did pay out, but at this next one's the big one after this next flip hit. So we got a 30-second long. But what if it got racked up in there for ages? Then I would have gotten in huge trouble. See, there's a problem here. 69. This isn't the right. This one is see, there's two. I think that's the case, actually. Really do think that's the case. Problem is I don't have like tags or any of that shit to know for sure, so we're just gonna have to gather that information over time. Right? 71, 75s. We get into it there at 71, 75s, it instantly shits on me. This thing turns into the nastiest little slip zone. These are good to fade if you realize they're happening, but was not catching that by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think I'm like updating the boxes either at this point. I think I'm like super behind. I know I'm getting out. Just instantly fucked. Happens to the best of us. Too much confliction. Way too much confliction. Definitely against on the shimmy. Attempting to go back in. None. Pretty conservative. I'm not super fucking clear about what's happening. I shouldn't have overfought as much as I did. Are you getting upset? I'm actually not. I was pretty calm. I wouldn't say it was a lack of patience. It's just not seeing the fucking what's going on. Don't think the trade should have happened. And by the way, this last trade is a mistake. I accidentally got into a trade after this session, after I recorded it. And then I cut it in 2 seconds, so we're not going to look at that. We're going to go into the last trade here. So that's a short. I know I'm going for this. Where's the other short? Here as well. Okay, we have that tagged. This here. The final trade, which works right away. I mean, is it any better? The problem is these boxes and shit. I might need to go recreate this. think that's the best case scenario because so much had moved and changed in that spot. So let me load up Sierra charts. Give me a moment. I'm gonna draw it out the way it needs to look at that moment in time. So we'll let Sierra charts load up here, and that is going to be at 9:20. While we wait, we'll make sure we put an outlier tag on this because this will horribly fuck my statistics on certain things because it's such a big win. If it's a big abnormally large win or abnormally large loss, I need to stick that on so I can filter those out. Because it'll absolutely really shift the shit out of these other tags. Okay, let me damn, what a market really did some shit. So 70s at what time? Wait, let me look at the 30-minute. I'm really curious what has happened. So they did come out of this range. This is what I was originally attempting to play in the morning. Or at some point. Right? So I do want to screenshot that. Because for me, there could have been a measured move out. So on this big-ass trade, this was exactly what happened. So that is 122 ticks. Which it definitely goes the full length. So we know there's a model range up here because this is A+. So there's a model range. And we know it's going to be reclaim assisted. Stick that in there because it is an A+ hold. For sure. This is a good trade. I know this trade. I've traded it for years. There's a few on the channel with it as well. We'll go to the 30-second. Good God, look at that. This trade is done at 70 evens at 9:20.22. Right? Let's erase a lot of these lines. Let's go in here and clean this up a little bit. Get rid of all this other delta shit. Just so I can have a cleaner chart to look at. So 920s. So it's going to be right in this zone. Let's try to reconstruct it to the best of our abilities. So we know we have a red box back here that ends at 70 evens. And what I imagine is going on, so we'll put this on. See, if this is going to get playbooked, I want to make sure that, because I was not playing upkeep, I was starting to like feel real sick, and I got up in the middle of the trade and went and puked. So we'll recreate this. And that also doesn't help. You know what I mean? So right off the open, it dumps down. Sup. And then we know we have that there. Then we have another one at 840 something. There's like a giant amount of selling there, but they knocked that out. And then you have a huge amount of buying that came in right here. But did they knock that out? Let me see it. Yes, they did. So that got knocked. Give me a minute. 847. So it's going to be around 840 something or other. So we know we have a 500, 600 contracts that came in here. So from here over, we know that and here over. So that should be pretty accurate. That is correct. And I'm looking at my other screen to make sure. Then we know we got another one of these right here. Notice how these bars go. There's 2 buy bars here, 3 buy bars here. I don't know. It's just like there's more buying here, but then the market starts to collapse in on itself. Very telling of how messed up it is. And then there's a final area here. Because I'm not upkeeping. On this shit at all. Then there was another set of buying up in that section as well. Was that 500 contracts? Let's take a look. No, not quite. That would not be enough. This looks pretty correct. As I look at this screenshot, then we have a huge, huge amount of selling right here. From here all the way down. They pull back. I feel like I might be missing something. 1, 2, 3. Or not. Actually, I might have some of this shit set up wrong. Give me a moment as I really attempt to look at it. So we know that it's right about here that I'm looking at a buy. Is it this one? It is this one. That got knocked out. So from here over to here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Huge amount of converging in there. This is where I get chopped, where I get absolutely chopped up. Okay. Now what I need to do is start looking at roughly this area on the 3 second, because I am using multiple factors of support. If I press Control 3, it'll come over there, and then it's here. Control 3. Let's really erase a lot of that. Kind of reconstruct what happened in here. So let me remove a lot of this. Because we don't need to look. I don't want to look at these other delta areas. Nice and clean. So this is when it starts to rip up. We know right here. We know there's a heavy amount of selling in this area. See, the problem is this shit needs to get automated. We know this is here. This is a good area. Let's start to track it upward. This is an okay spot. It's a 1 bar. It's about almost 200 contracts on the buy-in. So you can see that buyers are bailing. This area is decent as well. So it's these 3 bars here. Where's the chop? Where do I get chopped up? I get chopped up in this section. This is another super solid area. From here, but I'm starting to not do what I need to do, which leads me to believe you know what I was not doing on these? It's not gathering information. That's a problem. Not gathering information. Okay. Not really interested in any of these deltas. We can see that right here. This would be the next spot. So they go through it and then they top tick it. It's no good. There's another big flush at delta here. Hardcore buying comes in again. See, had I been paying attention to this stuff right here. Wow. Jesus, look at all that buying right here, but it didn't go nowhere. Buy, 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 buy. Huge amounts of buying delta, and then it was just pinned the fuck down. See, this could have I could have avoided terrible mistakes had I paid attention to that shit. Man, it's like it's a combination of all sorts of crap that got me in trouble. Then we start to, what time did we get short at? Because I want this to look exactly the way it did right when I was short. So they would have blown through that. We got short at exactly 1924 here. Bullshit. That's the wrong trade. 2022. Somewhere in here. Right here. So that's what this would have looked like at the time. But I need to backtrack a little bit. Notice though, look at this shit. Look how much selling came in, and then look how the market, it started here. Look how the market fucking ripped up on nowhere near as much volume as it took to get down. So we want to look in what areas do we want to look? We want to look, you know, somewhere around this region. Huge. Look at that massive, the massive selling that came in, and it's pulling back on nowhere near the same volume. But they're doing it on both sides, too. It's not one side. Just heavy battles, really, is what, you know, really heavy battles, heavy duty battles is what it's gone on. So heavy selling right here. But they breached through that, so that's not good to me. More heavy selling right here. Did they breach through that? I think they did. Yeah, so that's not good to me either. So that got knocked out. What? So the high is where that purple bar is. Is there any, like, yeah, right here. From here over to here. Heavy selling, which they did not breach. What about back here, though? Heavy buying. Here. Curious if there's anything like right. I'm not seeing shit. This here, this little zone. Right here. From here over. Wait, no, I don't want to use that. It's not enough volume. Above average is what I'm looking for. There really is no above average other than here, but okay, that's interesting. It's too conflicted in here, though, in my opinion. Jesus Christ. So this is kind of what it's looking like at that time. So we're getting in right here. Let's do Control 3. So we're getting in right as we're coming out of these boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is accepting out here. I may not. Well, we'll see about this. We'll see about that. We may not. There might be too much bullshit. You have 1, 2. It's relatively tight. 3, 4. And then down here you have 2. And it's relatively loose in this center section where you don't have a shitload of. And it's coming out because we're getting in at what, 70s? So we're kind of starting to accept out of these. You don't have a fuckload of overlay. It's one thing to be trading up inside this area, but to be out of it seems a little cleaner. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might need a threshold. I might need to have a threshold of how many ticks away all this shit is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks. That's not huge. That seems okay. There is a little bit of contention here. You can see two. You have a couple of boxes overlaying in here, right? You have about a 3 factor right here, and they bounce it just briefly. But the higher time frame at this point is just straight clear run. Obviously. But I was not updating this. Shit. That would put that at an 8, which is really high. Was I clear? I would say we weren't crystal clear. I would say we were in between. Because we're going against this. Definitely have favor here. When I get into this, it's mid. Fucking ultra aggressive. I know that I'm not okay with the P&L. I would say that we are willing to trade. Was it a lack of patience? I don't know. I was willing to fight for this big ass fucking trade. That's a tough one. It really is a perfect entry. Goes instantly in my favor, 93 ticks. But at what cost, you know? At what fucking cost? I think the exit was good too. Although, should I have gone for a measured move? I knew this would erase a lot of the problems. Super aggressive push. It's a good trade. Look how many factors it did have, though. Which is interesting because this might be the first trade with that type of deal. But I know I'm not gathering information. I know I'm not seeing certain patterns on it. And I know I'm fixated on an idea. Those aren't good. So while it's a good trade, it's not a good trade at the same time. But also I know the setup. It could have been done differently. Sure, the entry is crystal, like pitch perfect after I like analyze it in hindsight, but I won gathering enough information, right? Just was not gathering as much information as I needed to. Let's pull it up so we can watch it. Hold on. Oh, you can hear me like coughing in my mouth, like I'm gonna throw up. Just watch it. Oh, I think I went and puked at that point. So, do you see that? So I'm looking at the measured move on this 30-minute. This trade is always like really good. It's such a good fucking trade. It's the one trade that it's that one fucking playbook trade. The problem is trying to get into it because how much risk can you take on it? Trying to position, because this is 122 ticks wide. Where do you get in on that? So I'm waiting for it to hit the midpoint. What's good is I'm still drawing, so I'm staying on top of the management of this trade at this point. Ah, fuck. Did we exit? Yeah. So I'm trying to get out at 46.50, or I'm willing to get out at 46.50. And then we just take it out up here a little bit because it bounces right above me. So, unfortunately. But then it would have eventually worked its way down, but the bounce seemed to be pretty grotesque. Let's look at, I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking taking this. This fixes everything. So let's get a little screenshot of it. The entry, at least. We know that this has a lot going for it. It's a 4. It's interesting because then the combination of issues is like, it's pretty wide. It's not like one thing was a problem. It was multiple things. So this, I do have, there is a playbook, so we can, like review it in the future. So the way I would do the playbook, I'll show you guys. All I do is hit this playbook here, and then I just go to widget filter, and then I go to tag, and then the playbook name is here. I might name it the vomit comet or some shit. And it'll just find those trades with that tag. So we can see it. We can see each one of the trades with the tag. I can adjust this to maybe one column. So this one trade has the 2 screenshots. Something seems off. I'll have to talk to the coder about that. Let me screenshot it so he can see it real quick. Playbook seems to be all fucked up. Otherwise, I'll forget. But anyways, I'm going to put the video in it as well, but we can see the first trade, the first attempt on it, and then we can see the second attempt. So it is, since it's tagged like this, I can dust it off and find it really quickly, all of these trades, and I don't have to dig through shit. I can just put this tag on and start to find it. So we got interesting things going on. Let's get another screenshot, though. We get out. Let's take a screenshot of the 30-minute. Because it is a big trade. Since it's such a big trade, make that delta a little smaller. I'm going to put the entry and exit. Oops. I want the entry and exit marked here. So this, again, 70 even is when we get in it. It's certainly a heroic trade for sure, but the fight and the battle that ensued in between was nasty. And this would have pulled back really fucking hard, right? We get out at 47s. somewhere right about in there. Targeting mid. It has overshoot on it. But this is a good fucking trade. The problem, again, was the battle. Can I have cleaned the battle up? Now, I do want to look at it since this is like the playbook trade of playbook trades, right? I do want to look at it on the 30-second and get a screenshot in there on that. So we're going to pull up the 30-second. And I want to pull the screenshot from the 30-second. We'll get rid of those. That's where we're getting in at it, on it. There's some old shit down here from prior days. We'll get rid of that. Interesting how it's kind of overlapping in there. So the pullback on this is pretty gnarly. So I don't really need to see too much of this confliction shit. I just want to see the raw price action, so we'll kind of like delete all that. Right? I want to get my timestamps and shit in there. So again, this is going to be a 30-second. And the entry we know, because I already marked it. The entry's here. And the exit's going to be at 47s. Right in here. Okay, so it would have bounced on my ass a little bit. And each of these horizontal lines, 5 points, 5, 10, 15, 20. Not bad. Nicely done, but not nicely done. We don't need to see a string of reds in here like that. Again, this trade was a mistake. I accidentally clicked. 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh shit. And then it instantly went against me. I'm like, oh fuck. I forgot I didn't lock the DOM or any of that shit. So what I'm going to do, give me a moment here. Burping and shit. So we'll save this. And then we'll pull this up. And we're going to look at a little bit of statistics. So this is the session. What I want to do is I want to pull the URL off of it. Paste it in here. And then what we do is go to the very beginning of the video. Tradecraft has a timer. You should always film your Tradecraft timer. So see, it's 8:25:19. And then what I'm going to do is go in here and go 8:25:19. Now, I'm not sure if the timestamp was hyper correct. Slight pressure. I wanted to get the session over with. I did not do hypnosis on it. Something's going on with the timestamp. Let's Maybe I didn't get the right URL in there. Give me a minute here. So it should be an unlisted video. So if you guys are trying to like get your playbooks or what have you, give me a minute. Let's look at the watch ID. Oh, because it was missing something. So we put in the ID. Again, it's 820, 82519. Hopefully, there it goes. So now when we go to our playbook, the footage of it will pop up. This thing is tripping dick, though. All right, I need to tell the coder something's going on here. Okay. All right, we got bugs, but it is showing where the appropriate trade is. If I just come into the actual session itself, I don't know if he like did something, but it's time stamped here. You can see the trade going in right there. Also, I need to tell him. Let me just do this. When video is expanded in the playbook, the software trips out. Okay, so let's look at our statistics. So we'll get that fixed. But either way, the playbook name is in there. I'm going to rename it the vomit comment because I did fucking puke on it. Like... And I'm going to make it brown for the color of vomit. What is it, like a red or some shit? So we'll do that. Whatever, that's good enough. There's the trade. It's all set up. It's good to go. We got the images in there, so that way we can look at these at some other time. I'll be like, do you guys remember when we looked at this shit? So let's look at some statistics because I'm very, very curious. We'll go to main dash. So what? Let's look at today. What worked for us and what didn't? Well, that worked really good. The 8 factors of support. 4 factors was about $563. 2 factors made $959. We lost the most amount of money on 3 factors. Now we know some of these 4 factors, 2 of those I could have held for more, which would have given us an additional couple thousand. 6 factor performed decently well. So we can see that. What about our waves? Let's take a look at the waves. Was there anything killing me on here for the specific session? Wave against, which was most of the trades. So all that flip hitting. What about, we have another set of tags. Let me find them. They're buried somewhere. We got the 0 MAE. No, they're going to be somewhere back here, I believe. Slips. Here we go. These guys. I want to look at these 2 trades. So we'll actually remove this. We'll drop this down. There's a filter for P&L here, which we don't need to see. Because I think this is from the last time I did some analyzing. So these are the individual factors of support, the 30-second time frame and the 3-second time frame. The one factor of support is very interesting. It had started to perform, and then it's starting to go sideways now. We're getting performance out of 2 factors of support on the 30-second. We had taken a big hit here, which really fucked us, but for the most part, it's climbing out. What is that? 0 factors, which I've been taking full factor support trades. This one was the highest. And this is not from today. This is total. So that's 4 factors, which is extraordinarily high. Most of what we're doing is 1 factor. So there's something going on where it starts to shit its britches a little bit. 2 factors is good here. The best one is at least 3. We're getting a lot. This is all time. Getting the most performance out of 4. 6, but that's an outlier. But still, that's higher factors of support. We can see that early on you started to get a higher angle of attack. We don't have enough of a sample size, but actually we'll go back in here. If we go to current day, we'll get rid of the playbook. We can always pull this up. Easy. No problem. Some other time. That's total. Oh, there's the double R's. Okay, this is reclaims across the board. So reclaim delta, reclaim price action. It looks like that's performing well, so there might be edge within that. Entries, exits. Let's look here. Multiple factors of support. I think I can consolidate certain shit. We'll put that in there. Get rid of this. What is that? This is the double R's. We can put this up here as well. So 2XR. So we'll put in 2 of these in here, and then we'll put this, drag it up, delete that. It'll make them all exactly the same size. We'll remove this. Just consolidate some of this data. So those are my exits. Wave favor is interesting. This stuff right here is not things that I'm like trying to analyze hardcore. And since I'm not trying to analyze this stuff hardcore, like I don't need a bunch of space. I'm going to go ahead and just consolidate a bunch of shit in here. And then we're going to do this because I want to drag, because I'm trying to just build out a new dashboard because I'm on to something here, man. And we'll take this one, copy it, paste it into the clipboard here. It's already 6 o'clock my time, so we've been here forever, but you know, at least now I have something to sink my teeth into. We'll paste that there. So we know, because I don't, so this is the convergence on the 30-second, the 3-second. And then I want to actually, we'll put that over there. We'll do this, and if you just garbage can it, it'll make everything even. It's this weird little hack. And then we'll just go to main dash, because main dash has all my stuff in it. Where's my multiple factors full on? This has like every tag in it almost, according to group. But there's certain things I want to analyze at certain times. So we know this is our MFS. So this is MFS C VX. This does have a date filter on it. I do want to remove that date filter completely. And this is it all time. So this is my multiple factors for the life of this indicator, or these tags. So far, we got maybe a week on it. We can see 4 factors is performing the best. But we do need to add something else. What might that be? Well, we added a new tag here, and it's called confliction. Which, interestingly enough, I have 3 of those. Which makes sense that will hurt me. So I know my head's in the way, but that's where the yellow line ends. So it looks like 3 factors of support just sucks. When you have a bunch of shit conflicting, when all the convergence zones are on top of each other, and they might be good, but they're conflicting with each other, that sucks. 1 factor of support, I only got 1 trade. 5 factors of support is interesting. You would think that would perform really well, but it just, I don't seem to be getting enough of those, and it is starting to curl up slightly. 6 factors of support, it's moving up. This obviously 8 is huge. We had an 8 last week. This is another 8. Let's look at it. 6. Oh shit, there were 6 right here. Did I only get 1 screenshot? And I guess I didn't put the video in there. Oh, I remember this. I consolidated all that shit. I remember that trade very fondly. So that was also a 6 or an 8 factor of support, which had a high angle of attack. It yielded a lot of money. So it seems like maybe higher converging can yield bigger wins. So the lesson, there's 3 lessons from today. I need at least 4 factors of support. If the factors of support is above or below the market, ping pongs horribly, so stay out. Make sure the lines are tight. Also, stay on top of data collection. So basically housekeeping. So I need my housekeeping to be up to snuff. Not only do I need housekeeping to be up to snuff, what else do I need? Gather information. Not gathering information or seeing the ping pong zones is certainly hurt. All right, so we got sample size. Do you do better on range or trend days? I can trade any session. I don't know. Would you consider today a trend? I mean, it did go down, right? I mean, it went down a lot. I mean, I did really good today. I can trade both. It just depends on how clear I am about it. Anyways, that was an extraordinarily long stream. I'll talk to you.